أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Living with the glorious Qur'an. Verse number 17 brings or mentions 5 additional classes of muttaqin. The first in this class are those that are patient in adversity. Whatever happens to them, they accept. They are patient in obedience of Allah and patient at the time of stress. وَالصَّادِقِينَ, those that are true to their word. He has said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, عليكم بالصدق فإن الصدق يهدي إلى البر وإن البر يهدي إلى الجنة وما يزال الرجل يصدق ويتحرى الصدق وما يزال الرجل يصدق ويتحرى الصدق حتى يكتب عند الله صديقا. And of course he said the same thing concerning kadhib, that he enjoins us to speak the truth, because the truth would lead to good deeds, and good deeds will lead to paradise. If a man makes truth his trait, he speaks the truth and he consistently stands with the truth, he will be recorded in the sight of Allah as the truthful. And if he is a liar, in like manner. Qaniteen are those who are truly devout, given service to Allah in prosperity or in adversity. Some people only revert to Allah when they are in problem. If you see him with the long beads, he is in problem. Or with the electronic one, he is in a problem. But where things are good, everything is going. No COVID, nothing. Then he stays away from Allah. He only remembers the existence of Allah when there is of course, when there is problem, turn to Allah. It's good. But in adversity, in prosperity also, do not forget about your maker. There is a hadith to that effect, that one should remember Allah in both prosperity and in adversity. وَالْمُنْفِقِينَ, those who also spend in the obligatory charity, like in zakah or in sadaqah, which is supererogatory. They spend in Allah's way openly and secretly. That we have explained last year in great detail. وَالْمُسْتَغْفِرِينَ بِالْأَسْحَارِ, and those who pray for forgiveness from their innermost hearts. That is a translation. Ashar is not translated here. Now the meaning of ashar is that part of the night that is quiet, everything is calm, and prayers are more likely to be accepted during that time. Pray when others may be sleeping, and you are certain of your prayers being accepted. In the hadith, we have been told by the Ma'asum sallallahu alayhi wasallam that Allah would descend to the lowest heaven when the one part of the night, 1/3 of the night, first part of the night is gone. He would come down or descend in a way that is fitting to His Majesty, and he would say, I am the Lord. Who is there that can supplicate me so that I answer him? Who is there that will beg me and I grant him? Who is there that will seek for my forgiveness and I will forgive him? Allah would continue asking until the day breaks. So that part of the night is very important. And this is what I was referring to when I mentioned at the beginning of Ali Imran that Allah would come down to the lowest heaven. How he does that, no questions should be asked. This is part of the allegorical that we gave example to, but we just mentioned it in the passing. But this is the hadith that we were trying to make reference to when we mentioned that issue at the beginning of Al Imran. It is said that the Sahaba would spend the greater part of the night in tahajjud. But during the last part of the night, they would stop the tahajjud and start asking for istighfar. They will be engaged in istighfar because of this hadith that we have mentioned. And what is the form of istighfar? There are many forms of istighfar. Some are short and some are long. One form of istighfar is, they said, is the Sayyid al-Istighfar. That this is the greatest or the leader of istighfar. Allahumma anta rabbi, la ilaha illa ant, khalaqtani wa ana abduka wa ana ala ahdika wa wa'dika mastata'at. A'udhu bika min sharri ma sana'at. Abu'u laka bi ni'matika alay. Wa abu'u bi dhanbi. Faghfir li fa innahu la yaghfiru dhunuba illa ant. The best supplication in seeking istighfar is to say, "Oh Allah, you are my Lord. You are the only one that deserves to be worshipped. You have created me and I'm your slave. And I hold to your covenant as far as I can. I seek refuge in you from the evil that I have committed. I acknowledge your favors that you have bestowed upon me, and I confess my sins. Pardon me, for none has the power to pardon except you." And it is added that whoever supplicates Allah with this in the night or in the daytime, and they die before the morning or before the night, their sins are forgiven and they will be admitted into paradise. It is also related that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said to the Messenger of Allah, "O Allah's Messenger, please teach me a prayer that I will be supplicating Allah with it in my salah." And the Prophet said to him, "You should say, Allahumma inni zalamtu nafsi zulman kathira, wa la yaghfiru dhunuba illa ant, faghfir li maghfiratan min indik, warhamni, innaka antal ghafurur rahim." Now these are some of the words, amidst many more, that one can use in istighfar, seeking Allah to forgive their sin. No sinner will acknowledge their sin and seek pardon from them without Allah responding to them and forgiving them. Whoever commits sins and turns to Allah seeking forgiveness, Allah is sure to forgive him. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ سُوءًا أَوْ يَظْلِمْ نَفْسَهُ ثُمَّ يَسْتَغْفِرِ اللَّهَ يَجِدِ اللَّهَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Whoever wrongs themselves by committing evil and turns to Allah seeking his pardon, he would find Allah most forgiving, most merciful. Inshallah, tomorrow we are going to build on this as sinners seeking Allah's forgiveness and countenance. We shall mention more of such hadith and sayings from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and from the Qur'an on the issue of istighfar, forgiveness, seeking for Allah's pardon. Inshallah, when we meet tomorrow, we shall mention more of such hadith from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We as sinners seeking his pardon, seeking his forgiveness, and having the certainty that he has heard our prayers and responded to our plea for forgiveness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.